If your husband isn't the most annoying person you've ever met in your life, are they really your husband? Think about it. If he doesn't drive you crazy sometimes, can you even call it marriage? A real husband knows how to push your buttons like no one else. It's those little annoyances that make the relationship real. He might leave his socks everywhere, forget to take out the trash, or snore like a freight train, but that's part of the package. Those quirks, those moments of pure frustration, they're a sign he's comfortable with you. He's not putting on a show. He's being his true self. And in the middle of all the annoying habits, there's love. He might annoy you, but he's also the one who makes you laugh, who holds you when you cry, who's there through thick and thin. So next time he's driving you up the wall, remember, it's a sign of a real, raw, honest relationship. You wouldn't trade those annoying moments for anything, because they're part of the crazy, beautiful journey you're on together. Embrace the annoyances. They're proof you found your person. If you have a crazy husband like this, tag it in the comments. God bless.
He's confusing. He's confused. Ladies, if you have an annoying husband like this, I don't think that that is your person. And matter of fact, let me not say I don't think that is not your person. If you have a pastor or a friend or a therapist that is telling you that you need to embrace the annoyances, you need a new pastor. You need a new friend. You need a new therapist. You see, first he said the person who annoys you the most. And this is what's confusing, because then he started talking about small annoyances. So what is he talking about here? You see, the person who annoys you the most, you're probably not going to, or you should not have ever gotten into a relationship with that person, because they annoy you to such a degree that they are worse than anybody else you've ever dealt with. I dealt with a person. So when I think about the person in all my life that has annoyed me the most when I was in a relationship with them, this is why I'm not in a relationship with them. When their insecurities were such that they would go through my phone, when their insecurities were such that they deleted friends off my Facebook that I've had for 20 years because they thought that it was too pretty. When they would buy me tennis shoes, and I don't even wear tennis shoes, but then try to tell me when and where I can wear those tennis shoes. When they would buy me gifts, and gifts is not my love language, but expect me to be appreciative beyond just basic appreciation. When they try to govern how I spend my money and try to govern how I, did my business. And when I measured and counted one time, and we argued 17 times out of 30 days in a month, and an argument was categorized as something that required someone to apologize and emotions were hurt, not just a conversation. No, that level of annoyance, why we're not together. You should not be with the person that annoys you the most annoying person. And you're probably not, hopefully, with the person that annoys you the most. So don't sit up here and think, oh, well, maybe I missed my blessing. No, you did not. You saved yourself from a lifetime of annoyances, from a lifetime of frustration. It doesn't matter how good the person is in other categories. If they are constantly annoying the fuck out of you, you do not need to be with that person. Now, little annoyances. Everybody is going to have little annoyances with their mate, no matter who you with. No one is going to be 100%, not 100. You're good if you get 80% happiness out of a person and who they are and everything about them, that you match up 80%. You're good. But that 20% of little annoyances is still relative to what those little annoyances are. I'm going to tell you guys something that you may say it was petty of me, or I should have overlooked, but it's just something I could not. So I remember back in 2017, I believe it was, around that time frame, I was running my popcorn shop up in Milton, Georgia. And there was a young lady who was coming there, and this young lady, she was a nice young lady. She was fine as wine and beautiful as a summer's eve sunset. And we would have some great conversations in there, and we found out that we had a lot of similarities. And through having those conversations and similarities, I decided one time I was going to ask her if she'd like to join me for dinner. So what I did is that, she came over to my shop and met me there, and then I drove her and we went to go out and have dinner. But one thing that I had never experienced in my dealings with the young lady, since we only had met and talked about 4, 5, 6 times, was that when she eats, she smacks. And when she eats and talks, she smacks. Like even when there's no food in her mouth, she'd start by talking and say, well, I went to the store. Well, there was a person. Well, this and that and third. Well, that. And then when she was chewing the food, it was, well, that right there is chalkboard. That's nails on the chalkboard to me. That's nails on the chalkboard. And you have to recognize that, you know, how much time you're going to spend with somebody and how many times you're going to be consuming a meal with one another. And if I'm consuming a meal with somebody that it to the point where I can't even eat my own food because it's annoying the hell out of me. And yes, I ended the day rather quickly. We had the hors d'oeuvres. And then after the hors d'oeuvres, I told her this just not going to work. And some of y'all may say that's petty. Some of y'all may say that I should. And actually, uh, back then I was doing a podcast with these other two gentlemen, and they saw her because I finished the podcast when she came in, and she waited for like the last 30 minutes of the podcast, and so they saw what she looked like. And when I told them the next night that now we're not going out ever again, they were like, "You should overlook that girl that looked like that." No. So even some of those small annoyances, relative to what they are, you can't. No. And like I said, everybody's going to have some levels of annoyances. So you have to be able to determine whether or not what somebody does on a consistent basis, which is their true self, is can you deal with that for the rest of your life? If you cannot deal with that for the rest of your life, then that is not someone that you should be with. Like I know that I have annoyances that my wife probably can't stand. Well, I ain't gonna say can't stand. That bothers her. That she would wish would be different. But they're not to the degree that she is saying that I don't want to be with you. My wife has certain annoyances that I just deal with. So I'm a night person. My wife's a morning person. My wife wakes up with all this damn energy. Like she pounces. She wakes up and she's in my face and she's pouncing and she's ah. And I just tell her, I said, baby, just give me a minute. It's annoying. She knows it's annoying. She keeps doing it. It's just her. But I let her have it for a second, and then I'm like, okay. That's enough. I can't take no more of that. And then she goes on. I let her get her little morning jovial behavior out. And then she leave me alone so I can go through my morning process and get myself together. But at night, it's completely opposite. I'm up. I'm still here. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And she's the one that's looking at me like, you don't take your ass to sleep. But she just looks at me funny, like she did last night. And I said, what you looking at me like that for? And I just look at you? I said, yeah, you can look at me. All this chocolate. I'm going to sleep. And then she rolls over. She goes to sleep. Those type of annoyances, you just let it go. You don't even worry about it. It's not death or dying. But those annoyances that drive you insane, that makes you crazy, that like grates on your nerve, that you want the person to change and you try to make the person change, no, that's not the type of person you should be with. That is not your mate. Somebody else can hold you when you cry. Somebody else can celebrate you when you have joy. Somebody else can be there and be a listening ear to you. It doesn't have to be the person that annoys the hell out of you. No, don't listen to that man. That man is foolish. That man is going to have you stuck in a bad relationship when you could be happy. So take what you will, but always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.